a thunderbolt from the west. He burst onto the world stage like a thunderbolt, a young king with fire in his eyes and ambition thundering in his veins. Alexander. The mere whisper of his name sent shivers down the spines of seasoned generals and struck fear into the hearts of emperors. From the rugged mountains of Macedon he rode forth, leading his armies across continents, his sights set on the dazzling prize, the Persian Empire. Alexander was not content with mere kingdoms. He craved the world. He dreamt of uniting East and West, forging a new order under his rule. His courage bordered on recklessness. His charisma could inspire thousands to follow him into the very jaws of death. He was a force of nature, unstoppable, undeniable, a warrior destined for greatness. His legend was forged in the crucible of war. From the blood-soaked plains of Granicus River to the scorching sands of Egypt, he carved his name across the ancient world. He was a master tactician, a brilliant strategist, but above all, he was a warrior king. Leading his troops from the front, his voice a rallying cry amidst the clash of steel and the roar of battle. He was more than a conqueror, he was a visionary, a dreamer who dared to reach for the impossible. And as his empire expanded, so too did his legend, growing with each victory, each conquered city, each fallen foe. He was Alexander, the boy king who became a god, the conqueror who aspired to be a unifier, the legend that would echo through the ages. The clash of titans at Gaugamela. The air crackled with tension. Dust choked the horizon, a grim prelude to the impending storm. On the dusty plains of Gaugamela, two empires clashed, their destinies intertwined in a battle for the ages. Alexander, the young upstart, faced Darius, the mighty Persian king, in a confrontation that would decide the fate of the known world. The Persian army stretched as far as the eye could see, a seemingly endless tide of chariots, cavalry, and foot soldiers. Their banners fluttered in the wind, a colorful tapestry of defiance against the Macedonian onslaught. Darius, adorned in gold and jewels, surveyed the battlefield from atop his war chariot, a god-king ready to unleash his fury. Alexander, ever the strategist, had anticipated Darius's tactics. He deployed his forces with precision, his phalanxes forming a wall of shields against the charging Persian cavalry. The air filled with the deafening clang of metal against metal, the cries of the wounded, and the roar of battle cries. At the heart of the melee, Alexander led his companion cavalry in a daring charge, aimed directly at Darius himself. The clash was titanic, a whirlwind of flashing blades and desperate struggle. Darius's nerve faltered, and he turned his chariot, fleeing the field, leaving his army leaderless and his empire ripe for the taking. The Jewel of Mesopotamia. Babylon, the Jewel of Mesopotamia, the city of Nebuchadnezzar and Hammurabi, lay before Alexander, its mighty walls shimmering in the heat haze. Word of the Persian defeat at Gaugamela had reached the city, along with whispers of the invincible Macedonian king. The city, once the heart of a vast empire, now braced itself for the arrival of a new master. Alexander, ever the pragmatist, knew that a peaceful transition of power would solidify his hold on the Persian Empire. He entered Babylon not as a conqueror, but as a liberator, promising to uphold its ancient traditions and respect its gods. The citizens, weary of war and eager for stability, welcomed him with open arms. The streets, adorned with garlands and banners, echoed with the joyous clamor of celebration. Incense filled the air, masking the scent of recent conflict. As Alexander rode through the Ishtar Gate, its glazed bricks depicting mythical beasts, a testament to the city's enduring majesty, he offered sacrifices at the temple of Marduk, the city's patron deity, a gesture of respect that resonated deeply with the Babylonian priesthood. With Babylon secured, Alexander turned his attention towards the administrative heart of the Persian Empire, Bucephalus. The wealth of Persia, accumulated over centuries, awaited him, promising to fill his coffers and cement his status as the new ruler of Asia, yet the shadow of Darius still loomed, a constant reminder that his victory was not yet complete. The hunt for the great king. The pursuit of Darius became a relentless chase across the desolate plains of Persia. Alexander, driven by ambition and perhaps a touch of obsession, refused to let the defeated king escape his grasp. Each sunrise brought renewed determination, each sunset a bitter taste of frustration. He pushed his army to its limits, their loyalty fueled by the promise of riches and the allure of their leader's unwavering belief. Word reached Alexander that Darius had sought refuge in Ecbatana, an ancient city nestled amidst the Zagros mountains. He urged his weary troops onward, the lure of finally capturing the Persian king driving them through exhaustion and hardship. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. As Alexander and his forces neared their destination, they were met not by Darius but by news of his betrayal and assassination at the hands of his own satraps. The once mighty king of kings lay dead, his body abandoned in a cart, a pitiful end to a reign that had spanned decades. Standing over the body of his rival, Alexander felt a strange mix of triumph and melancholy. The victory he had craved for so long felt hollow, tainted by the manner of Darius's demise. He had vanquished his enemy, but not in the glorious battle he had envisioned. The great king was dead, but the spectre of his empire, vast and unconquerable, still stretched before Alexander, a challenge that would test even his indomitable spirit.